Hello, everyone. Welcome to Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, inspire, and uplift women to become the goddesses they are meant to be. I am Julietta, one of your hosts here. I'm the magical PT, which basically just means I am a physical therapist, but I work outside the box. And the magical PT was kind of a name given to me because two people who knew me but they were talking to each other and they didn't know that they both knew me. And one said, I have to go to my magical PT. And the other one said, is her name by any chance Julietta? And ever since then, I'm now known as the magical PT. My marketing people liked it and they're like, that's your brand now. So besides being that, I'm an artist, a cat mom, a podcaster, an author, a jewelry maker, a candlestick maker. No, I don't make candlesticks. I'm just kidding. I'm a slash.
Yeah. So it's funny because I looked up that book really quickly before we got on here, and it's actually called. Hold on, it's called One Person, Multiple Careers. The slash career or something like that. Like the subtitles, like the slash careers. Yeah.
But I do find it cool that, like, what a lot of people don't know is physical therapy is considered a very high burnout career, and that the career life expectancy of a PT is 9 years. So
really?
Doing this, yes. So having done this 30 years is pretty spectacular.
That is pretty spectacular. And I would feel like it has a lot to do with the fact that you've kind of gone into you've gone the journey that you've gone, right? I would think that would help a lot because
instead of trying to change me to fit the career, I changed how I practice to fit me.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
So, who are you?
I'm Allison Mancini, and I'm a holistic nutritionist. And I also live here in South Florida. I've been here for a long time, but originally a Midwesterner from Michigan. Like my buddy over there, the Wisconsinite. And you know what? My passion is basically helping busy women, busy moms, being the best that they can health-wise, because I know firsthand my own personal experience with my children, that if you're not taking care of yourself and you're not making sure you're getting good nutrition, it doesn't have to be every single day, but more than not, it can affect you. It affects everything from your mental well-being to your physical well-being, your emotional state, everything. So that's really my passion, is to just give women the tools easily because they're busy already, just letting them run with it. You know what I mean? Giving them the tools that they need to take care of themselves and their families. So yeah. And I'm excited to be here today. Because we have
always excited to be here.
I'm always excited to be here too, but and they're always special, but we have a super special treat from Julietta today. But so I'll let you go ahead and do it, and then I'll tell my experience. How's that?
Okay. Well, Allison asked me to draw a card today. So one of
our actual.
What happened?
Something popped up on my computer by accident. Sorry.
Oh, that's funny. Anyway. One of the things I have a lot of decks of cards, oracle cards, tarot cards, whatever you want to call them. Mm-hmm. I'm going to use the goddess cards today since this is the Voices of the Goddess podcast. But I don't draw cards all the time, but like if life's getting a little crazy on me and I just want some outside guidance, I'll go to one of my decks of cards and draw one. And I drew one for Allison the other day. And so we decided I should draw one for all of our listeners today. So I'm just trusting in the universe that it is going to give a message that's going to resonate to anybody who listens to this podcast. This is the message that you need to hear. Oh.
Okay.
It's too good. It's too good. We Butterfly Maiden, transformation.
Transformation?
Right. Yes. Yeah, butterflies are always about transformation.
Oh, I know.
You are experiencing. What? Yeah. So you are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. And let me see, because then, that's the simple message, but finding it in here. There we go. So the message to you from the Butterfly Maiden is, as you go through this period of change, it's natural for you to wonder if your future is safe. I'm here to assure you that you're part of nature's cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. To bring in your desired newness, you must first allow old parts of your life to fall away. These changes are to be celebrated, not feared. Give thanks for the shedding of the old, embrace all of the lessons it brought, and then let it go. Be giddy with excitement at the newness of the gifts that are now being bestowed upon you, and let their magic surprise and delight you.
So I love that for a lot of reasons. And you know that my company name is Zebra Butterfly because I named it after two symbols that are very close to our family, near and dear to our hearts. And one of the reasons for the butterfly is because of transformation. And I love that you pulled that card. And it goes along really well with the card you pulled for me the other day. So just so our audience knows, I did not ask her to pull the card for me the other day. She just texted me one morning. She's like, hey, I just got a feeling I should pull a card for you. First time you've ever done that for me in the 6 years we've known each other. 6.5 years. So now you're in trouble because you might have to do it more than not now. But
it's okay.
She pulled this card for me, and it is the Archangel Michael card. And I'm just going to read you what it says on the front. It just says, I am with you, giving you the courage to make life changes that will help you work on your divine life purpose. And what's so interesting to me about that card, along with the butterfly card, because I kind of feel like they go a little bit together, is that that's what I'm really working through. And our interviews today have been a lot about that, right? Like clarity and finding your life purpose and pursuing your life purpose. And although I'm fairly clear on where I'm going, I definitely need to make some final decisions. And for my husband, if he's listening, it has nothing to do with you. I posted a post the other day about changing, and doors closing and doors opening, and he screenshot it and sent it to me from work. He's like, are you trying to tell me something? I'm like, no, this has nothing to do with you. I am completely happy with you. It's all good. We've been together for far too long anyways. So yeah, I love that you pulled that. That's a really cool card.
Awesome. So should we bring our guest on?
I think we should.
Hello, Erin.
Hello, ladies.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
We'd love for you to take a minute and introduce yourself to our audience. Tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to start out by saying the goddess card that you pulled is fantastic. It's, transformation, letting go of the old to bring in the new. Perfect, based on, what we're going to talk about today. Mm-hmm. So my name is Erin Currin. I'm actually born and raised here in Broward County. Yes.
Wow.
Wow, that's right.
I grew up in Lauderhill, went to Boyd Anderson for a semester, but then we moved up to Gainesville. So, I've always been in Florida. Well, not always. And, so it's been an extraordinary experience watching South Florida grow, looking at downtown. My mom and dad both went to high school, and they're like, we remember when the tallest building in downtown was 2 stories. It was the old Sweet building. So
wow,
it's changed a little bit. My grandparents had a house off of Las Olas, and it was a completely different world. So I love this place. And I'm happy that other people love it too, because I think it's paradise. So I am born and raised in South Florida. My career has been as an accountant. Speaking of transitioning and, one person, multiple careers, because my passion and what I'm growing and evolving into is author, speaker, trainer. Even though I've been in accounting, which is more like left brain analytical, I'm what I like to say ambibraneous. I dabble in like the spiritual realm and love tarot, love meditating, love all of those woo-woo. I've been attracted to crystals and little new age shops for as long as I can remember. So it's something that's always been trying to come through, but I could never really find expression. I started practicing Nichiren Buddhism 20 years ago. And that was extraordinary, got me through a large part of my life. And then about 12 years ago, I was introduced to personal development, which leveled me up and opened up even more. But I still seemed to be stuck. I about 2 years ago, took a personal development course called Gratitude. And after Gratitude, it's one of those where you just couldn't get around not exploring your emotions and opening that up, because that's the place that I always like to hide away. I don't want to deal with the emotions. That's messy. I need to be in control, right? So a year ago, a little over a year ago, I was having this breakdown. My mom was in the process of transitioning. My marriage was in the process of undoing, and I had made the decision that it was time. And one day I was just like, what the hell am I supposed to be doing? And so I prayed and I meditated, and about a week later I was having a coaching session with my coach at the time, and I was complaining about something, and she said, well, why don't you just hate your way to happiness? And I went, wait, what? And then I got it that the icky parts that I had been trying to avoid were the process of transformation. Without that, I wouldn't get to the other side. So I wrote a book while going through my process, and here I am sharing it with other people. And, I like to let people know that it's not about trying to be in control, because the caterpillar liquefies to become the butterfly. You've got to just go into those really messy places. And it's perfect.
I love that.
Thank you. And I cry a lot, so
it's all good. So do I. I've been known. My husband's like, you cry all the time. I cry at everything. It's partially because I'm an empath. It's really hard. I just get really. It's just hard.
It's not. I mean, it's like what's hard is watching other people squirm when I go to that place, because I know my message is on point when I'm crying. I know I'm in touch with that deeper layer. I know I'm in touch with the truth. And so there are some days I just go without makeup because I know it's going to be one of those days.
That's one of the gifts of the pandemic. I stopped wearing makeup.
I still love my makeup. That's my creative playtime, So yeah, I have actually come to the process of really discovering this transformation because I created a morning schedule for myself, of all things. It was I went to a seminar and I saw Hal Elrod. He was the keynote speaker, and he wrote Miracle Morning. And so I started doing the Miracle Morning process, and I had created a schedule for myself where I gave 15 minutes for a shower, 5 minutes for my hair, 5 minutes to put on lotion, 20 minutes, I love my makeup, 20 minutes to put on makeup because, it's creative. And I kept running into this thing where every morning I was on time, but I was bitching at myself about putting on lotion again. And I got, after struggling with this for a year, that it was a worthiness conversation. I didn't feel like I was worth the time. 5 minutes. And that, having a set routine and a process of things that I say I'm committed to, and then having to show up and have my actions equal my words, massive breakthrough. So I highly, highly, highly recommend morning rituals. If you haven't created one, you can go to my website, hateyourwaytohappiness.com, and put your email address in and download the free guide. I'll walk you through how you can create a morning ritual to challenge yourself to get to the next level. And it's not something that you're going to create. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to encourage you to create something that works for you.
Listen, I love Hal I always jumble his name. I love him. And Miracle Morning, I'm all about it. I do it every morning. My problem is I'm hard on myself if I wake up late and I can't do it all. But I've started to let that go.
There you go.
Good.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm letting it go. I'm getting better about it.
If you've never seen him speak in person, he's amazing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, super like amazing.
Cool. Well, it's time to dive into questions, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So, Erin, what is your superpower?
Well, my superpower is authenticity, both in my ability to share what's real and raw for me. In the book, it's raw. It really goes there. So my ability to share that way, and also people tend to really open up with me. I had a conversation with a friend this morning, and she was sharing something, and at one point she stopped and she says, "I don't even know why I'm telling you this." Well, that's, I get that a lot. So I'm a safe space, and people can feel that. I value authenticity above all else, because if you can't be real, then what can you be?
Absolutely. And
we have so little of that these days, authenticity, right?
That's true.
The opposite everywhere, it feels like.
But I think, and we're being part of that journey too. Like, sometimes I think people need permission to be authentic and let their true self show. And one of my favorite memes, I see it from time to time on Facebook, is, let your weirdo light shine. It's a beacon for other weirdos to find their way, and, gives them permission to be weirdos too. Like, because we're all, we all sit here and try and like fit into this, the box that society has created as what's acceptable, and it's killing us all. Like, so I give everybody out there listening permission to be authentic, be yourself. We talked about hair color. We had a guest with pink hair, and I've had purple hair off and on over the years. There is still some pink in here, although I need a trip to see my friend Estuardo to fix that. But be you, do you, like, because we need that. We don't need more robots and people, everybody acting the same. We need everybody to be authentically themselves.
And what's really important for everyone to remember is everyone is just as freaked out as you are. Mm-hmm. You don't have to keep it under control, because we are all scared about something, and we're all trying not to let anybody else see.
Yeah, that's so true.
Now that we're talking about this, so I've been an empty nester for I'm going on my 4th year of being an empty nester, and I thought it would get easier. So I never really talked about it to people, because I was a stay-at-home mom for a large portion. My daughter had a lot of medical issues, so it really kind of forced me to be a stay-at-home mom for longer than I probably would have if that was not the situation. But I don't regret that at all. But I didn't talk about how difficult it was for me to be an empty nester, because some women go into that mode and they're like, woohoo, party time. Like, they're like ready to go. They don't even think twice about the fact that their kids are gone. And I was not that way. Like, it made me feel really good when I heard Brene Brown say in an audiobook that she actually cried in bed for a week after she took her daughter to college. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how I felt. Like someone had died. Like, I told my husband, I felt like someone had completely just walked up to me one day and said, "You're fired. Your job's done. You no longer get that job anymore. Like, that's it. After 20 years, you're done." And it took me it took me until the last year to finally start admitting and telling my friends and my family members, this is really hard for me. Like, it's really difficult for me to have my kids so far away. I like my kids. I like spending time with them. I like being around them. But there's this whole thing about when you're an empty nester, you shouldn't be that way. I don't know. So I've just decided that, you know what? I don't really care what people think. I like my kids and I miss them, and I'm going to let people know that. Including my kids. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, I like you guys. I miss you guys. And they're like, okay, Mom, whatever. I think they miss me too, because they do call often, which is good. So yeah.
They do. Usually when we're trying to record a podcast.
Usually when we're doing a podcast. Actually, Lexi's already texted me during this one. So there you go.
Hi, Lexi.
I know, our Lexi, but that's true. That authenticity is just it's just not there. And I actually wrote that down, like, as I'm clarifying where I'm going. I just want to make sure I'm authentic about it. So I love that.
Nice. All right. Question number 2. What is your favorite book or book that has most influenced you?
The book that most influenced me was Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, precisely because someone gave it to me when a friend of mine got into an MLM back in 2008, and I went to 1 or 2 of the meetings, and somebody gave me that book. And I don't think I ever read the book, but in the book, there was a ticket to go to the seminar, the Millionaire Mind Intensive.
Mm-hmm.
That was my introduction to personal development, altered my life completely because I started thinking, well, I had never thought about not being an employee before. I had never thought about doing something that I wanted to do. And so it opened up a whole new world. So yeah, the book was a doorway for me, and I highly recommend it because it's in the lines. It introduced me to Think and Grow Rich. It introduced me to like the world of law of attraction and all of the amazing things that go along with that. Like, I am the creator of my life. And if I don't like what's going on, I have the power to shift that. I just get to focus on what it is I want to create.
I always find that, as someone who's also done transformational trainings and workshops, and, when you talk to other people about it, they get in these limiting mindsets of like, why are you wasting your money on that? And I'm like, you have no clue. And like, or I don't have time to do that. How did you give up that much of your time? I can't possibly do that. And I'm like, it's a choice. And, everybody has stuff on their plate, and you get to decide, do you want to change your life, or do you want to just keep living the same old? And, these courses exist because they do work. They do change lives. And so just like we're always talking, encouraging, like, everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs to go through these transformational workshops because they will help you find your path and get you to be the best you can be.
You get out of it what you put into it.
That's 100% it too.
Thinking that I would get fixed. That was my big challenge. And so I would go and I would sort of do the work, and I would wait for somebody to tell me that one magic phrase or something that would have me not be me anymore. So I am a personal development junkie, and I go a lot, but it's like, I also understand that when I hear those messages that I need to hear, it's about leveling up and moving up slowly into that new evolution of me. So yeah, there are a lot of people who can actually say that personal development doesn't work, and it's usually because the limiting belief, they're more interested in holding on to the comfort of what is shitty and unknown. Yeah.
Yep.
I've not ever read Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, but I'm adding it to my list along with all my 50 million other books. But one of the books on money mindset that I started reading, and I know Juliet has read this, and I really like this one a lot. I've read a few of them recently because I did not realize myself until I really started doing more work on my personal self over the last few years. I really had money blocks, like big time. And, you can always look back and attribute it to certain things and the ways that you were brought up. But when it comes down to it, it is a choice. It's a choice about how you talk to yourself and how you look at money. And I had to reframe all of that. But one of the books I really love is Get Rich, Lucky Bitch. And I love it because she's so like practical about it. Like, she's so like reading, like I read, what's the one, something badass, or I can't remember. There's
you
a
are a badass.
Yeah, You Are a Badass. She talks about money mindset in that too.
She says you're a badass at making money. I think.
She has, and then one of the coaches I've worked with, that's one of the things she talks a lot about is like money mindset and stuff. And so anyways, I another woman I know who's a coach, like on financial coach, and she was the one that recommended this Get Rich Lucky Bitch. And I think it's so good. And it's so incredible to me how just that flip and that change of how you look at things, you don't realize until you were looking for it, how often you really do get financial gain in your life. And it's not always money, right? Sometimes it's value of things. Like I was listening to a previous guest we had was talking about how she was gifted to a personal development workshop. She was gifted the ticket. It was like $3,000. That's financial abundance. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, I think, so now I go to the grocery store, like if I go to Publix, and every little dollar that I save when I buy one, get one, or buy two for $7, it's like, I write that shit down. Like I just saved $5 at the grocery store. Like that's huge. Just changing my whole framework of that. So I love that.
Awesome. All right. Question number 3. Because like we're all out there doing a whole lot of stuff, but to get that done, we got to take care of this so that we can do that. So, and we changed it from self-care to self-love. What is your favorite self-love practice?
Number one, hands down thing I love is massage. I know an awesome massage therapist. I know Julietta, you know her too. And she is just amazing. So massage is my me time. It's when I can go and release and just allow myself to come back into alignment.
Nice. Yeah, that's like, I need to schedule mine. Yeah, I need to schedule mine. But after we schedule the flow tank, Allison and I are going to go do the flotation tank.
Oh, I've heard of that. I'm interested. Definitely interested.
Yeah, I've floated I think 3 times so far, and Allison's a little nervous about it, so we're gonna make her do it.
Is it like the sensory deprivation?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're like the water inside it's my understanding is it's saltier than the Dead Sea, so like it's impossible to not float, and it's not very much water. I mean, it's like 6 inches of water or something, and it's pitch dark in there. There's no sound in there. The water and the air are body temperature. So, because you're not getting any sensory experience, the only thing that's left is you.
Wow.
Your thoughts. And so cool stuff can happen in there.
Really awesome.
Yeah. So that is on my list to do very soon, and I need to schedule my massage soon because I'm overdue, and that's not okay. It's not okay for anybody to be overdue. Take care of you.
I have one scheduled in like 2 weeks, so mine's already on the schedule, and I should get that dang float tank thing going.
Awesome. All right. Question number 4. So we interviewed a lot of women that, are potential listeners before we created this podcast. And the thing that they struggle with, that they want help with, is accountability. So we ask all our guests, how do you create accountability in your life?
Okay, so that is sort of a trick question. Yeah. Because really, in the last 3 months, I've started to create a lot of really strong accountability around me. I've always known that when I make promises to myself, I'm not going to fulfill on them. I'm not as likely to fulfill on them. And when I make promises to other people, I'm much more likely to show up. And for the longest time, I would try to find accountability partners. And what I've discovered is because I hadn't made the decision, and because of how I was thinking about accountability partners, I kept thinking that they weren't gonna, they were at some point they were gonna peter out, at some point they were gonna fall off. Nobody held me accountable because whatever. 3 months ago, I had a conversation with a close friend of mine, and we were talking about mentors. And he was saying, you have to be willing to give up what you think you know and do what they say without question. I was like, whoa, no, I'm independent. Like, I know I'm not going to give my stuff over to anybody. Like, no danger. And I thought about it and I was like, that sounds like it's probably what's been missing. Like, I think I don't know enough when it comes to somebody else making a choice versus me. So I'm not going to trust myself. But then when somebody tells me what to do, if it's something that triggers or challenges my beliefs, I'm not going to want to do it. So I'll do it half-assed. Mm-hmm. And lately, like 3 months ago, I had this talk about mentor and what it is. And so as soon as we had that conversation, I had a business accountability coach. I had a food and exercise buddy accountability coach show up. And I also had a spirituality group, some ladies that I know from personal development were doing Reiki circles and starting to meet and talk about that. The minute I got clear on really wanting to experience accountability, that was when these people showed up, and they're the kind of people that don't let me off the hook. Before, I was creating people that would let me off the hook. So accountability is super important. And if I'm not really 100% behind it and I'm looking for an excuse why I couldn't do it, that's what's going to show up. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the trick.
I love that. And that's definitely a perspective on it that has not been brought up yet on the show. So yeah, that's a lot.
when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah.
Sure. So we complain about accountability and we talk about how other people aren't serious or don't show up. But the reality is, what are you getting out of them not showing up?
Get to stay set in your ways. That's what you get.
And you get great excuses.
Yeah. And
everybody else buys in.
Right. And it's comfortable. And yeah. Mm-hmm. I get it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Totally. All right. It's takeaway time, ladies. You got your takeaway, Allison?
I do actually have mine. So I would say the most thing I've gotten out of this is just about being authentic. And I know, and I'm just going to speak for myself. So I do a lot of work on social media, and there's a lot out there, and there's a lot of people that you're always trying to imitate, or, oh, they did this and they got this many views or this many likes. So I need to be like that person. I need to be like that. I need to do what they're doing. Right. So my goal in this clarity part of what I'm dealing with right now is also to make sure that I'm authentic and being me, and getting to be confident in myself and that I am enough. Does that make sense? Right. So just that authentic side of it, that it's like we always say, Julietta, we all have something to say, and there's people that need to hear exactly what we have to say. And if I'm going to keep preaching that to our audience, then I have to believe that about myself too. In my own business, is that there's people that need to hear what I have to say, and I need to be myself. So that is my takeaway from our time together.
Yeah, I like that. My takeaway is kind of funny. I love this word, and I'm stealing it from you, and I'm going to use it. That ambibraneous. I love that. And it just, so, I've talked about this quite a bit as someone that, I am trained in Western medicine. I'm a physical therapist. Like, everything is inside the box, but I am not an inside the box person. And so I find all these other creative ways to express myself. So, like, I did really well in school. I got A's, A's and some B's, and except for that one stupid C I got in gym class the semester that we had to play golf and tennis. Like, I'm not good at hitting balls with sticks, but whatever. So, I spent a lot of my time in the very non-creative world, but that creative person's inside me, and I'm just unleashing her and letting her go and do her thing. But now I have a word for it. I'm ambibraneous. I like it.
I'll go both ways, baby.
So, Erin, what is your takeaway for today?
That it was the oracle card for sure. Transformation. You have to let go. You have to allow the old parts to fall away for the new to show up. It's like hanging on to the old is comfortable because it's stuff that we know. It can be really scary when we know that where we're going is nothing like where we are. I like to be able to see around corners, and for me to really become who I'm meant to be, it looks nothing like I used to be. And it's not that I forget or disallow who I have been. It's honoring that and releasing that.
Yeah.
I think those cards are going to have to come out more often, Julietta.
I was thinking the same thing as she was talking. I'm like, all right, we'll play with that more often.
Yeah, we'll have to do that more often. This was awesome.
This was really fun. Thank you so much for joining us today, Erin. It has been such a pleasure having you on. And thank you to our audience for listening. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, like, follow everywhere you find us. Please share us with your friends and other goddesses out there. If you'd like to be on our show, go to our website and fill out the form, and we'll be in touch and get you on here, because every woman has a goddess inside that gets to be shared with the rest of the world. And if you need to get in touch with Erin or Allison and myself, check the show notes. All our contact information and good stuff is in there. And I want to wish all of you a magical day.
Bye. Bye, Erin.
Bye.